Move on. Straight up, move on. Forget them. They are lying and they are untrustworthy. So move on. Now, sometimes this can be hard, especially if they've somehow tied themselves into your life, especially like, for instance, you get the kids involved in a divorce scenario. You can't move on, but you have to mentally move on. You have to emotionally detach from that human. And that's hard to do because obviously they were someone that you trusted. And the reason I know that you trusted them is because they got to a point where they were able to betray your trust and destroy you. So it's hard. But the fact that you trusted them, the fact that you had that relationship, that's even more reason to walk away. It's even more reason to move on. You got to see them for what they are. And this is an important piece right here. This is an important piece. This is something I learned as a young lad out there in the world. That person is not who you thought they were, right? They are not who you thought they were. The idea that this person was a trustworthy, faithful companion is not true. It is not true. That person does not exist. They didn't exist and they don't exist. It was in your head. It was in your head that this person was trustworthy and they were everything you wanted them to be and they were a faithful companion. That is a lie. They are not that person. They have proved it. They have proved it by their actions. So move on, and at the risk of sounding callous, get over it. Get over it. Do not dwell on what it was. And don't dwell on what it could have been. You hear when guys go through bad breakups? You know, I thought we were gonna, it's like, no, don't dwell on that. Deal with what it is right now, what that person is. Deal with reality, accept reality, and be thankful for reality. Be thankful that you were able to learn before you invested more into this person. Be thankful that you found out when you did that this person was a liar, that this person was unfaithful, was untrustworthy. Be thankful that you know it, and you know it now instead of later. And you know what else is going to make it a lot easier to get over these situations is recognize that there's plenty of people out there in the world that are trustworthy and that are faithful, good people. They're out there. Go find one of them. But don't think that person that you had was the only one in the world. They're not. And you know what? Sometimes people have a hard time making that trust because they're so caught up and they don't want to meet someone else right away. That's fine. Start with yourself, right? Rely on yourself. Trust yourself, because when someone breaks our trust, we question ourselves too.
Yes.
Like we think my judgment's bad. I'm not a good judge of human character because I totally put my faith in this person and look what they did to me. So now we don't trust her. So you got to build that trust up. You got to build that trust up back again with yourself. How do you do that? Read, write, learn, work out, be alone. It's okay to be alone. Some people get freaked out when they're alone. It's okay to be alone. It's okay. It's okay to be alone. There's no big deal. Enjoy it. Do something productive and build that trust up in yourself. You know, look back at the situation, learn from it. We do that. It's an post-operational debrief. Oh, you've put too much trust in somebody? Cool. They broke your heart? All right, roger that. Let's see. What were the steps? What should I have recognized? How many times did I say, well, you know, they didn't call me, but it's probably just because their phone was out of battery. No, once your phone runs out of battery once, okay, you don't let it happen again, right? Yeah. So you start seeing those red flags, see the mistakes that you made, and then look for them next time around, because you deal with people all the time that they made mistakes the first run, They go back and they make the same mistakes the second run. They go back and make the same mistakes the third run. That's when you got to start blaming yourself on your situation. That's why I said you got to like build a relationship with yourself. You got to learn yourself. You got to trust. You got to learn to trust yourself. So spend some time doing that. And then when you go back and you start dealing with people, because that's what you got to watch out for, is that you become a hardened criminal. Yes. You don't trust anybody. You want to be suspicious of people, but you want to be able to build trust once they prove themselves. So take those small steps and start to build up over time. Don't just jump in and give someone 100% trust out of the gate. You don't know them. You don't know them, you know, right? You don't go out of the gate with the big trust on somebody with important stuff. Yeah. Don't do it. Because guys, what she was, no, she wasn't. Yeah. That is a lie. That person that you put together in your head, that you've assembled in your mind, that person doesn't exist. They don't exist. Yeah. The person that you dealt with was a liar, was unfaithful, was a cheater. That's the person. The person wasn't this person that you're putting forth in your mind. That person doesn't exist. So stop. So move on, man. I know it's hard. Trust us. People kill themselves in these situations over a lie. Yeah. That's to me, that's the trick. But it's a lie. And guys or girls get so distraught over this fantasy that doesn't exist. And what's really jacked up is if they could just move on, they'd find a reality that was actually congruent with what their desires are. Yep. It's out there. Yeah. You see people all over the world. They're in relationships, having fun from every level, right? Yeah. There's someone out there, but you get caught up in this mental trap and obsessing over a fantasy. It's a fantasy. Don't obsess over the fantasy, man. You can get over it, and there's plenty of other human beings out there that are awesome. So go find one of them. And in the meantime, hang out with your badass self. Right. And become a better person.
Man, working out is a big one.
For sure. For sure. That's 100%. Just get in the gym and get after it.